Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the You Good Homie podcast. I'm Jason, and today we are talking about seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression or dealing with overall sadness throughout this holiday season. In today's episode, we talk about personal experiences about feeling waves of emotions during this time, feelings of loneliness, how to combat those emotions, and how to navigate stressful situations such as Halloween and Christmas. We also talk about fun things such as New Year's resolutions and how to goal set. So we really hope you enjoy this episode. We did record in the brand new space, so for those of you listening on Podbean and Spotify, you might not know, but yeah, we are recording in the brand new space. And we did record pretty late at night, so you might notice that we might sound a little bit tired. Regardless, we hope you enjoyed this episode and have a great rest of the day. Happy New Year, everybody. Take care.
And we're back.
Oh,
that's
back.
different.
That's different.
Damn.
And we're back.
Oh, this is different, bro.
This
Where
is
are
different.
we? Where
Is
are we,
this
bro?
even UGH podcast? Like,
Dude, for real.
Stuff in the basement, just sweaty men.
So
where's Lawrence?
where's Lawrence? Where's
What
the
did you
stage
do with
manager,
Lawrence?
bro?
I guess for like the people who are listening to any of the audio, like the Spotify and
Oh, wait.
Podbean, they probably don't know what's going on. But we're in a new space. We don't
Dun,
know if it's
dun.
temporary or if it's indefinite, but this is the space we're going to be recording for now. So yeah, welcome to the new space. We have a new casting couch. It's
New couch,
and
bro.
yeah.
That we bought.
What are we talking about today, Ronald?
Today we're gonna be talking about seasonal depression, y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck. Seasonal depression. So, from my understanding, it's just like it's kind of like the winter blues. essentially.
Yeah.
is the most common like
A colloquial term that people
colloquial
use
term.
for that.
Yeah. I think we all get it at one point. I think it's like for me, it's a really like there's a lot of factors into it, like the weather.
Yeah.
We just finished the most merry and joyous part of the year for most of us.
Yeah.
I will say. Or if you're living on your own in a new environment, it's probably one of the most depressing times of the year.
Yeah, there's that saying where it's like this is probably the most festive time, but also the most lonely time for some people.
Yeah.
Like it depends on like, because as you go, like I don't know. For me personally, I know Christmas was a lot of times with family and like cousins, extended family.
Yeah.
But like if you're an adult who's like married and everything, like eventually you tend to not know as much people when you get older. And we just talked about like last episode about relationships, right? So
Yeah.
that could probably affect it.
Yeah.
Super tough.
And I think it's more fitting for us who live like in a northern country,
Yeah.
Canada.
Away from
When
the
it's-
equator. Yeah.
When it's dark
When
as
it's
fuck all
winter,
the time.
it's like super dark. We're lucky if we get like 8-9 hours of sunlight.
Yeah.
And
And
I
it's
guess
cold
we'll
as
talk
fuck.
about it, but sunlight is a big contributor to
Yeah.
winter blues or
One thing
seasonal.
I do notice, because like if you work a stereotypical 9 to 5 job, especially in Canada, when you wake up and get to work, it's dark, and when
It's
you
dark.
leave, it's also
It's
dark.
dark, bro.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So a lot of times to compensate, for me personally, I start trying to take vitamins. I mean, it's not. I'm gonna say it's in all.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, vitamin D and extra a double D. I wouldn't say it's like the solution for everything, but like if you're not getting like the sunlight you need, then that's something I kind of been doing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of a little bit of a background information. I'm not going to read the whole like stats, but basically the official term that seasonal depression is called is S.A.D or S.A.D, seasonal affective disorder. Essentially, it's just like there's a lot of, I guess I didn't get a lot of stats. I just got kind of one study, but one of the implications that like a lot of times we do experience seasonal depression is they do call it the winter blues in the study, and it's usually lack of sunlight. Talks about serotonin, how that's kind of the hormone to regulate mood. And a lot of times when we don't have sunlight, I'm not going to go to the specific details, but essentially like less sunlight, less serotonin, and then harder to navigate moods. Of course, this is just one variable. There's obviously multi-factorial why people feel depressed during the winter season. But yeah, we're just here to talk about it. Yeah.
I guess another chemical, another
Testosterone?
hormone, testosterone. No, melatonin too. Like touching on the.
Oh,
reducing-
yes. I wrote that down. Yes.
Yeah, because I guess it affects your like. When I was like doing research again, watching videos.
Yeah.
for this podcast, like there's actually two two types of seasonal affective disorder, one in the
Oh.
winter and one in the summer.
I didn't know
And
that.
then the one in the summer, it's more, or like the one in the winter is like it affects both affect your melatonin,
Yeah.
but in the summer it's like you're always like hyperactive, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't
Mm.
slow down, and then in the winter it's kind of like the opposite, right? So it's kind of the opposite effect, because in the summer obviously we get more sunlight,
So less melatonin, therefore you're
Less
you're less likely to sleep. So you're
Yeah,
more
yeah.
active.
Yeah.
So you're more active, and then your battery runs out quicker.
yeah,
So that's why you get sad or
Yeah.
quicker.
I think that's
it's
like
definitely a factor.
is
Yeah,
part of the benefit of actually watching a lot of video content is that you're able to consume information faster.
Yeah.
Because I
we
was
still need to do an episode on that. I feel like it's
no, yeah, I've been so like I guess a little side note, especially kind of moving forward in this podcast. For me personally, I've been trying to do a goal of like anytime I have a position, anytime I have something to say, that I'm relying on like cooperative data before talking on my asshole. Of course, like there'll be something that I'm not really knowledgeable about. I'll just spit on my asshole for the sake of like conversation. But yeah, like I've been noticing that like especially in my Instagram, YouTube, there's a lot of content where like someone will come in and they're very charismatic the way they speak and everything. So it's like you're inclined to trust them.
you're
It's
inclined
like,
to believe them.
but it's like I haven't actually fact checked. And like if you notice, even in our own friend group, when someone says something that's like pretty like I don't know if that's true, I just pull out my phone. It's like, is there data to support what you're saying, right? Yeah, like for example, like I know it's something kind of small. My coworker was saying how like the reason why the Apple logo is the Apple logo, right? And so he said, it was like, yeah, it has to do
Steve
something.
Jobs liked apples.
No. He was saying like, oh yeah, it has to be like a reference to like Adam and Eve, like forbidden fruit, right? And I was like, and then I Googled it, and 2 articles were saying how like apparently the reason why there's a bite on the apple, right, is because he didn't want people to think it was a cherry.
Yeah, he didn't want it to look like a cherry.
Yeah, and that was it,
Oh,
right?
that's
Like
the- yeah,
people were
that's the biggest one.
hypothesizing like, oh, it was like Newton's apple, or like some like, oh, it's some like denomination like reference, and then the guy's like, nah, I just
Didn't want to look like a
yeah,
cherry.
but like it's and that's an example of like a small example of like, you know, it's very easy, like, yeah, that's a reasonable explanation, I'm gonna believe it, as opposed to like the actual explanation, which is something that I've been trying to work on, because we are gonna talk about New Year's resolution. That's something that I kind of want to allude already, is like, yeah, that's something I kind of want to work on, is making sure I'm not just like a sheep and I'm doing more diligence when it comes to asking questions and getting to know the world as it is. Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
yes, sir.
But to get started, we're talking about the very first question of today of seasonal depression. For you guys personally, if not seasonal depression, do you guys ever feel a lack of function or a change of mood during the season? And yeah, how would you guys feel about that?
I can go first. Yeah, I think in the past, I've definitely felt like a lot of seasonal depression, and it used to hit me like a lot harder when I was. I'm not saying I am like a cured depressed person, but I will say when I was suffering a lot more bouts of more intense depressive cycles, seasonal depression would be the hardest like hitting cycle. So like winter would always be the hardest hitting cycle, because you're spending all your time inside, you're spending it like pretty much alone, like if you don't have really a solid support group, and it's like it's pretty much like a reminder of how alone you are. And if you aren't super like secure in, you know, your own company and yourself, then it's super distressing. Like it's super tough. And for me, like I wasn't super secure in myself, and I wasn't super, you know, just super great feeling. So like winter was always really tough, because like I just felt like I was always alone. And when you're alone with your thoughts, when you're kind of going through it, it's really tough. So I do like believe that like in winter, like even now, to be honest, like now that I'm a little better and I'm a lot more functional, I will say, I do see a decrease in efficiency. I have seen that like me, especially this year for sure, like I'm just like, I don't want to roll out of bed, because I'm like, yo, it's too freaking cold, bro.
It's too cold.
It's too dark. Like, can I just stay home and nap? Like, actually, Beacon and I, we've been living together for a little bit now, and we were actually mentioning that like we honestly never go outside as much anymore. And then I was like telling her like, oh yeah, it's like cold, but I'm like, you know, like even yesterday, for example, we were like gonna go get pizza, and Savona's is like 2 blocks away.
Oh yeah, you're close to Savona.
Yeah, bro.
That's dangerous.
It's 2 blocks away from my apartment, and Vegan and I were like, let's just order it because it's too cold.
Oh,
But it's like,
Yeah.
on any other regular day, we
You
would
would
have
walk,
We
you
would
would
have
walk
walked. We would have
there,
been like,
it would've been a nice
we would have
day,
been like,
yeah.
oh, it's a nice day, or even like if it was a little nicer, like it is today, kind of.
minus 20.
Yeah, minus 20. But like,
balmy minus
if
20.
if it wasn't as dark, and like it wasn't winter, any other day, me and Vegan would have been like, okay, let's go get let's go get pizza, or like we'll walk a little farther and go get something else. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, to give you credit, like I think that one of the reports was like you'll get frostbite in minutes because it was like what -30, I think.
Yeah,
It was extremely dangerous.
Feels like
Even
minus 20.
I think I would have ordered because I'm like, nah, I'm not. Even at, like, because what place do I live? I live by the Chicken Frito, like by.
Yeah, the free
I would
Shout
not-
out free too.
I would
Fire.
not. I would not walk.
Fire.
Like I would also order because like it was like dangerously cold.
Yeah,
during that time.
yeah.
And even now, like I think a lot of people who don't live in Canada would be like, dude, this is really cold. But like for us, it's like, oh, it's like nice weather. You know, it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
chill.
Yeah, minus 20 is nice weather, guys.
Minus 20. You know, it was minus 30
But yeah,
last week. So it's an increase in 10 degrees.
Yeah.
but yeah, that's my experience with like seasonal depression. I just like now I just find a very much a decrease in efficiency. But like before, it was like to the max. Like I wouldn't want to like I was like there was a shittiest like bout of the depressive
Yeah.
cycle essentially.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for me, I think, I totally agree with your decrease in efficiency comment. Like, in the summer months or even in like outside of winter, I used to not like take a nap every day. Like I would try to, because I would try to like, maybe I stayed up late the other night because I was playing games,
Going
or
through
some
it or
shit.
something. Yeah.
or I was out
Playing
late,
balloons.
so I was like, playing blues.
Favorite game. yeah.
Attack shooter would go crazy.
go crazy here, bro.
No, but like to catch up on sleep, I would try to take a nap, but then I couldn't. It was harder for me to fall asleep during the day, outside of winter. But now it's just like I go to bed and I sleep for like an hour or 2 hours, and then like it doesn't affect my sleep at night. So it's like I just feel more sleepy. And then at work too, like your comment there, Jason, when you go to work, because like I at site I work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Oh, so you don't see the sun at all.
So I don't see the sun at all.
Yeah.
So I come in, I'm fucking tired. It's dark, and then like, I mean, I can't really go out for a walk, or there's nowhere to walk.
Yeah.
Like take a break outside. So I'm pretty much just at my desk with like artificial light
Yeah.
all day, screens all day, and then go back to camp. It's dark, so it's like,
Crazy.
yeah, I've just started taking my vitamin D.
Yeah, me
supplements
too.
too.
Yeah.
Because when
I
talk-
need to get on that.
I'm more
well-
adamant in during winter too, because I
Yeah.
can feel it. Yeah.
yeah, when talking to people at site, they're like, yeah, if we don't take our vitamin D supplements, we don't feel like human. And I'm like, oh shit,
That's
I should.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's so
I
crazy.
should start that too. So I started bringing like vitamin D and even vitamin C, and gummies like one like the one in
Flintstones.
Flintstone gummies.
Yeah.
Flames.
No, the Costco gummies. The Costco
Yeah.
gummies.
Flames.
Would you guys say that like during winter you guys stay up longer, like later in the night, or is it like doesn't matter? Is it like the same in summer and winter?
I think for me as of lately, it's been pretty much the same. But like I either sleep 14 hours or sleep like 6. Like there's no really in between.
Yeah.
So I'm either consistently sleeping 14 or consistently sleeping like 6 to 7. And as of lately, I've been consistently sleeping 6 to 7. I've actually been sleeping less, but I think it's just because my schedule is a lot more like it's a lot more packed.
I see.
And I get up a lot earlier now. Whereas like in the summer, to be honest, like since I'm off school, like in my work is a little bit more flexible in the summer, I'll sleep like 12, 14 hours for sure.
Yeah, for me, I don't know, but I definitely can feel that I'm more tired throughout the winter season. One thing about, because I think I asked about mood as well. For me personally, just not to like, I'm not saying that's a flex. I don't notice much mood changes, but I do notice a lot of mood changes in the people around me.
That's fair.
Yeah,
fair.
like
That's totally fair.
that's one thing. Like, I'm not gonna talk about anyone specific, but like I noticed that a lot of people who are close to me are a lot more irritable, whether that be family, friends, or significant others, whatever.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that like I didn't have to be a little more conscious. So it does affect me, but not necessarily in a way that like
Indirectly.
indirectly.
Yeah.
But
Indirectly.
what it does affect me directly is exhaustion. I think as soon as January started, I was taking naps like.
Yeah, bro, you're gassed
Out-
all the time, bro.
And like, if,
yeah, man.
if you guys, I was gonna say, if you guys don't know, I work like a 12-hour shift job. It's 3 days on, 3 days off. I'm on my 3 days off. So last rotation, so I have a post lunch slump, and that's something that even is relevant in the summer.
Yeah.
And like after I had lunch, I was like,
dog.
yeah, I was like,
I thought that was just me too. But
No, I
get
think
crazy
I
post lunch slump,
I get
bro.
post lunch slump too.
Yeah.
That's why I like to hold it off until like the end. Of
yeah, like it's kind of a unhealthy. So it's like it's a dilemma because if I don't eat, I feel tired from not eating. But if I eat, I get the food coma, a post lunch slump. Yeah.
You get the itis.
So I've been trying to
Can't win.
well, first of all, I need to get more protein and more veggies. I just been eating carbs. Like that's all I freaking body. And like I have to remember, like I'm not like 16 anymore. I should get a good diet. And that's definitely important during the winter blue season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like of course, like there's always money will always be an issue, but like if you can replace like I don't know, like a night of Hayden block with like some fruits and veggies. With some
fruits
and veggies.
With some good protein and like a moderate amount of carbs. I'm not saying carbs are necessary, but carbs are actually pretty good for you. Just people demonize because of weight, whatever. But like a balanced meal, like I feel like that would help. And I do feel a lot tired, but I wouldn't say my mood changes. It's more of like I notice I have to be more careful around. My
definitely more mindful for sure.
Yeah, more mindful. But I've always been someone that like because I think I'm a little more opposite where I do like being alone in my thoughts a lot. I do think a lot, and I think it's because of my New Year's resolution of reading a lot more, so it helps me process things. I don't like to bullet journal. Like I hate writing stuff down. I rather type it down.
Jason.
But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just I feel tired, but I feel okay usually. Yeah, I do a moderate amount.
Yeah, mood wise, I'm with you guys. I'm pretty much the same. It's just
You're tired.
Yeah, tired. The post lunch slump, especially like nowadays, anytime after 12, it's like I'm not
dude,
getting.
I'm fighting
work
my demons,
done,
bro.
man.
Like, yo, it's crazy because I think for you, like I just noticed, like you work a 12-hour shift, right? So you come in gassed. After 12, you're gassed, and then when you leave, you're gassed.
You're gassed.
Yeah.
So
That's
what you get for working in oil and gas.
In the mines, bro. In the mines,
bro.
All this fucking gas, bro.
The Minecraft.
Oh my god, this Minecraft Steve looking ass. Because I work at 8, but even then, it's still there's no light. Like when I get there by 8, it's like this. Like I mean, the audience can't really see, but it's just pitch black. And I know some of my coworkers argued with like the higher ups, like, hey, make sure the streetlights are on, because like no one really brought it up, so it was just like pitch black, and you would slip and you could hurt yourself. Which they could sue, so they had the lights on. But it's like it's dark when I get there, and then when I get home, like when I get off, I'm like, son, where have you been?
Dark.
And it just feels nice, like in the summer when you feel like the warmth on your skin. Like it just feels nice. Like in the winter, your skin is dry, lips are dry.
Full
of shit.
Like your skin is cracking and shit.
I have a lot of like ethnic workers that like live close to the equator that kind of came over here. So a lot of Salvadoran, Venezuelan, and then I have a lot of Ethiopian and Sudanese workers, and I have a lot of workers from India. So a lot of their places that they come from are warm, right? And one thing, the common thing is like my mouth is always dry, and they say in their native tongue, or they say they're like, like I just hate this place. Like I have to drink water every single time I wake up. I was like, yep, like welcome to Canada.
Welcome to Canada.
I get you.
Yeah.
I to kind of add on like a little side note, I actually noticed this in like why we get itis after lunch, especially a carb heavy lunch. My boss actually told me this. It's like the reason why we like feel so sleepy is because you usually get sleepy when you feel cold. And your body's taking a lot of its like bodily processes and making your body like purposely cold. So that's why you feel so cold. And then like for me, it's like when I feel cold, I feel sleepy, bro. It's like, oh
yeah. 'Cause I think that's why like at work I try to like at camp, like I try to set my temperature to like I actually Googled this the other day. It's like, what is the ideal temperature?
Ideal working temperature, right?
No, ideal working temperature, ideal like sleeping temperature. Like your sleeping temperature is like 20 degrees ish. If you try to work in 20 degrees, it's cold, man.
It's
Yeah,
cold.
yeah.
Cold.
So it's cold. Yeah. So the colder it is, the more sleepy.
Is that like why it's called like room? You know, like there's like a certain temperature called room temperature. Is that like is that like work related? Do you guys know, or is that
No, I think
I
that's
think
just
that's
like
just, like,
regular.
a general like regulated temperature.
like
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
like if like that if that's like the median, and then this is death, and this is death from heat, and this is death from cold.
Yeah.
Then
It's
this
like
would-
a comfortable
room.
this would be like the
Room.
perfect amount to avoid death.
it's like a comfortable temperature to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's how
Maybe it's also related to water, right? Like room temperature water.
well.
I think that's related to.
We'll search it up. We'll search it up after. Like I honestly, or the audience can search it up. But yeah, next question. One thing I kind of wanted to follow up because I know you mentioned Christmas, but like that was kind of one of the things I kind of talk about with a lot of my a few of my coworkers. Where one of them mentioned it's like during this time that's where I have to meet my. He made a joke like I had to meet my girlfriend's family and I had to be in a good mood. Or like, you know, I have to buy gifts for like all my like extended family, and I also have to like go to dinner table where the uncle like starts, you know, shouting like climate change denial stuff, right? And you have to like
Racist.
It's like,
yeah,
damn.
and say something out of pocket, and then you just have to like sit there and
Yeah, like they say the N word or something.
yeah.
crazy.
Stressful time, right? So my question is, I guess like during the holiday season, we have things like Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, Halloween, and then we have New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
And then we start fresh into like a new working season or a new load of work. Do you guys think that perhaps these seasonal holidays should be there? Do you think they help like combat like S.A.D, or do you think that they add more fuel to the fire? Like what do you guys make of this?
I think there's like pros and cons to both. Really. It's like for the people who can't afford to do it wherever they are, it's such a beneficial thing. I think for me, it's like Christmas and New Year's is definitely like one of the things I look forward to the most because I get to see all my family and get to see how much they've grown and how much how they're doing. And I think now, since like this is gonna be my first year living on my own, I have yet to see like how much that really affects, because it's like I don't see my family consistently anymore, right? And I probably won't see my extended family consistently as I did when I lived at home. I lived at my parents' home, sorry. So I think it's beneficial, but I also do see like the cons. Like I think that like if you can't afford to see your family during this time of year, and like you have to see them through like a FaceTime screen or like see
COVID,
them, or like a phone call, right? It's like it's tough. And like, and we also forget, like, like COVID is actually a good example. Like we forget like how depressing it was to like celebrate New Year's and Christmas like online.
Yeah, it
on
was
Zoom,
weird.
right? It was weird. And
Yeah,
it was
a lot
kind
of
of
Discord.
sad. Like it was like, dude, like I want to hug you. Like this is not
Yeah,
it.
you want
know
to
what I
gorilla
mean?
grip their thigh.
Yeah. Like
Oh, okay.
I want to kiss you or something. I don't know.
Just open mouth kiss.
But yeah, I'm very much in the camp though of like we should keep it, because I think it's like, especially like growing up, it was like two of like the biggest like things I look forward to.
Yeah.
And like for the kids, but also like fuck them kids sometimes. But like, but like yeah, definitely I'm in the camp of like keep it, because it's like it brings so many more people together, and it's like, again, if they can afford it and if they have the opportunity to, those lonely people will definitely take the opportunity to see their family during this time. And they're more incentivized to, you know what I mean?
I see both as like helpful and unhelpful. So the helpful side is exactly what you said. Like, as we keep saying on this podcast, the humans are social creatures.
Yeah.
So we need the company of our family, of our friends to, kind of at the very least distract us from our problems or
You can't be depressed if you
or,
forget about it,
or stuff like that. And then like giving and receiving gifts and just spending time with family and just taking a break from work is a good one. If you can take a break from work during that time is good. But then the bad side as well is like the stress of it, like obligations of getting people gifts, spending time with with family, maybe family that you don't particularly like, or that you're kind of forced to be there.
Yeah, that's true. That's facts.
I know during the holidays, like I did spend a lot of time with my family, with my girlfriend's family, with friends, and like gift exchanges and Christmas parties and New Year's parties, all of that. And by the end of it, I was just like, you know what? I fucking hate people. I'm
bro,
so
you're burnt out.
tired.
Your social
My
battery's
social
low,
battery
yeah,
has,
yeah.
and I guess just to tie it back, like, do you guys think that your social battery, and this question just came up in my head, does it drain faster?
Yep.
During winter.
Oh, 100%. Dude.
Well, I don't know about fast in winter. I just know it drained fast as I'm older.
Yeah, that's
so
facts too.
I
That's
used
facts
to. I know when we went to McDonald's and everything, I was very much like I always wanted to be included in everything. A lot of mad FOMO, and even today I still have some mad FOMO.
Yeah.
But if like someone were to say like, "Hey, like we can't make it," I'm like, you know what? I'm not even mad.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not
I'll just
stressed
stay
out.
home.
Yeah.
Like we went to like Lawrence's EDM thing. And I was like, it was nice for the first little while because I got to see a lot of people that I
haven't seen in a while.
recognize.
Yeah.
But after a while, I was like, dude, I actually can't. I really am not built for this. Like I'm being.
Like, I want to go home type thing.
Yeah, I'm getting shitted on, right? So like obviously like I was waiting for him to perform because I wanted to show some support, but it was like, dude, I remember if this was like if I was like 18, I would have been like staying till like maybe like 2 a.m. like not wanting to end. But like now I was like, dude, I'm actually just, and also like my head was also hurting because like the EDM was like really
go
going hard. Yeah.
I get that too. Like I think like Lawrence's DJ event was a pretty good example. Like obviously I was very much more hyperactive because I think it was just like
It's
my
your family.
you know what I mean? So I gotta show up and show up. But I definitely understand from your perspective because I think like as I also get older, a lot of friends are inviting me to like events, and like to be honest, like I'm very selective now. I'm like, I'm good. Like I'm gonna just stay home. Like I'm gonna just spend it with like Beacon, or like I'm gonna just spend it by myself.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's just like because we have such a limited social battery as we get older. Because I think we're just like we've experienced a lot of shit, and we're like, fuck, we don't really get FOMO that hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I'm just like I would rather
But
take it easy.
I am trying to think about the question that Vince posed of like, is this my social battery like go down during winter? Actually, I feel like I'm not as social because it's too cold. I don't want to go out because of the cold. I don't know if I'm necessarily more social in the summer because of that. Like, I do feel like maybe perhaps it's because we live in Canada and like there's just less things to do because it's so cold.
Yeah, less things to do.
And also like, I know we're not in school, but usually summer is like a time of like people feel like they're more free because like it's like it's so I feel like maybe people are more likely to plan. But like, I actually don't know. Like I don't know if I'm
because like usually people like would go on summer vacations and stuff, but never like winter vacations.
I did a few times because I really wanted to be out of this place when it got negative like 30. I hated it.
Yeah.
I've done it once, but then like this year I kind of had to save money. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm stuck with this.
But I guess summer vacations are more common than like winter.
I think to bring it back to your question, because I didn't necessarily answer your question. I think I do find myself. There's only two really periods in the winter where I'm the most social, and that's Christmas and New Year's, and then Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
and then that's it. Like other than that, like I think I'm very much. I think I find my social battery drain a lot less because it's like I think I'm prepping myself to just like put all of my social battery in that 1 week of Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah,
where it's like combined, and then like
takes a lot.
And then like the one day, like the whatever left I have, I spend the one day like on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Jason's assessment. It's like not. Well, I'll probably have to think about it for the next few months in winter here and see if it's actually true.
Yeah, now you're aware of it, so you can actually have an answer.
But I feel like it's more of convenience. Like, oh fuck, it's snowing. I don't have to brush my car. Like,
I think
I don't have to like.
I think your social groups are less incentive to make plans because it's so ass.
Yeah.
And warming up the car is kind of it's shit.
Yeah, it's
like
if you're in Canada, bro,
dog. when you see that weather outside, you're like you cancel all plans. It doesn't matter like how bad you wanted to go the week before.
Yeah, I remember we had volleyball practice last week, and then Jaden.
Yeah, bro. Jaden was trying to cut from it so bad.
Yeah, I was like, yo, no excuses.
Like, no excuses. To be honest, I want to play so bad. Bro. Like, it didn't matter if it was like a fucking blizzard outside. I still want to.
No, when I got out in that -30, my balls were shriveled up, from being so cold.
They go back into your body.
Yeah, I couldn't feel my fingers. I was like, nah, bro. If I can avoid making plans during this month, definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I for sure agree with you though. In any other case other than volleyball,
yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think weather does stop. Like a physical, like actual rain check, but instead of a rain check, it's a oh my gosh,
it's fucking minus 50.
Yeah,
yeah, minus 50.
And I feel like. Side note, I also feel like we let people get away with it a lot more too because we feel the same way. It's like yo, like I'm so down to hang out with you next weekend, and then it like snows or something. And you're like, yo, the roads are kind of bad, bro.
Yeah,
like, and I'll be at work like texting you that, so roads are kind of bad, bro. Let's reschedule,
Yeah. I think there's like an unspoken agreement that like if it's so bad to the point where it's gonna jeopardize one of our safeties, and we can
yeah, for sure.
And I think I'm kind of glad that like at least from my experience, like a lot of the social groups that we kind of participate in, they're a little more understanding of like, yeah, it's kind of ass, we'll call it rain check. Because I know we were trying to record this episode like last week, but we can't, not because of the weather, but because Vince playing arrived late. But also, it was like, dude, it was also really cold.
It was the first time like we hit -30.
Yeah,
like,
that was
like
super
I was warming up my car every like 6 hours. Like I have an alarm on my phone. Like all right, and so I turn on my car starter and let it warm up.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a plug-in, and I was like, okay, this is like the ratchet way you have to do it. Like just waste some gas and why not?
Fair.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily answer the question. What was it? What was it fucking? Oh yeah, during Christmas, if I think it's ass or if it's good. For me personally, I do think that Christmas and just the holiday season is good for kids because they can just show up, right? But I find for adults, it gets stressful. It gets stressful. I think the reason I feel that way is because when I go to work, none of my coworkers booked any time off during the Christmas season, except for the leads. And I was like, it's because they have a higher paycheck, so they can afford to, right?
Because I got that bag.
And they're all asking, like, is there any overtime? Is there any overtime? And then our company's like, nope, there's no overtime during the season. Like, we're just keeping like regular hours, right?
Yeah.
And like, I saw my coworkers coming in sick because they really need that money because they were trying to like, I don't know if they're trying to impress their kids with a PS5 or something or whatever, or if they're just trying to like, make it through the holiday season because that's like when more money's being spent during that time. But I was like, yeah, I find that when you're an adult, you are now put in a position where you have to plan a lot more. If you want things to go smoothly and things to go well, you have to be more autonomous into actually making things function the way you want it to function, right?
Yeah.
And if like, especially if you're with adults that don't really pull up, because I know, like for example, like I have one friend who's like, her goal was to pick up all the gifts on behalf of everyone, like her aunt, her mom, whatever. We're like. Her aunt will give him money, like, oh yeah, just like your cousin come over, buy a gift for them, right? And then just say under my name, right? So she was kind of like going from place to place, and when she was telling me this, I was like, damn, I would have said no.
yeah,
I would have gotten a fight.
Good luck.
Yeah, I would have fought, but she like obviously didn't want to be the
instigator.
Yeah, she wanted to fight, and I totally get that, but I was like, it was one of those like family drama things, and I could tell that she was stressed, and I was like, damn, like. I think if you were a kid, you could just show up and be like, "Oh, here's a gift for you," and then you open it up. It's an underwear. Like, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, I feel like the holiday season for adults, it's the magic is gone. It's not there as it used to be. But.
Yeah, I know, and I also think like there is that amount of effort and stress that you put into Christmas and New Year's, and then right when like January hits. I think January is like the worst month.
It's horrible. I hate January
because like there's that drop off from like the holiday high, and then you just drop off
because you gotta grind.
and then you gotta go back to work.
Yeah.
And then like, oh fuck, like now I'm back to my normal life. It's fucking cold. It's dark. Yeah. It's not a fun time.
Nothing special happening for like another month.
Yeah.
That's
true. Yeah.
Like New Year's Day isn't like to me it's not holiday. New Year's Eve is like
New Year's Eve is a holiday.
So in January, I don't really feel like there's anything cool, right? And I think I also noticed like the economy kind of slows down because like people are on money saving mode.
Recovering from
From
Christmas,
dropping money on a an extra large deal or a PS5, something stupid.
Both of them.
Yeah.
So I find that even like in some of my part-time jobs, like they're like, oh, like I would get scheduled less hours in January and like a little bit of February because like that's like the economy, you could feel it slows down, right?
Yeah.
So like you're more broke, so you're stressed about that. Plus like there's nothing going on, and it's cold, it's dark. It's like, oh, okay, so like I guess, and it's not really a question of like when you're stuck in that position. It's not a question on the Excel sheet, but if you're stuck in that position where you're put in a position where money's low, it's really cold. How would you like personally? How do you guys combat that when trying to deal with S.A.D. or like just overall winter blues? And when you're put in that situation,
For me now, I think it's like I take it one day at a time, for sure.
One day at a time.
Like I think it's kind of like almost melancholic the way that it is, because it's like it's kind of happy and it's like it's like one day at a time. Every day is a new day. That kind of optimism, but it's also kind of bleak because it's like, oh shit, like you really are living one day at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the mentality I take, because and it's like kind of worked for me so far, especially as of now, because it's like I don't know, it really allows me to throw myself in whatever tasks I have for the day or like the week. And kind of lets me kind of not necessarily distract myself, but lets me kind of like hyper fixate on a couple things so that I'm not really thinking about how broke I am or how like
distractions,
right?
Yeah.
So that like when February comes around and it's starting to pick up again, I can be like, yeah, like let's go, like not only do I got my money up, but like it's fun time again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right?
It's like February is Valentine's Day, and then March it starts getting warmer.
It's just getting warmer, and you got Easter and shit.
Yeah, you got Easter. For me, it's like a more focus on self-care and actually realizing my limitations. Like it's okay
that's a
to
good one.
like.
That's a good one.
are you more
slow
aware
down.
of your boundaries during this time?
Yeah, more aware. Like I have a bad habit of
Overworking.
saying yes to everything
Bro, that's me, bro.
and then like regretting it after.
Dog, that's
Like
me.
for
real.
example, for going out and stuff. I say yes to a lot of stuff because I get FOMO
Yeah,
a lot of times.
and that's
So
normal.
bad.
Yeah,
And then I'm like, fuck,
I'm so
I want to
gassed.
stay home. I want to take a nap. And then so that's something I'm working to get better on. But yeah, like realizing your limitations, like January's a tough month. Just slow down, do less things in a day, try to tackle less things in a week, and I think the euphoria of kind of like finishing those tasks that you put out, or even though there's less tasks or less goals that you're gonna achieve per day, per week, you still get that high, right? I think we talked about it in the previous episode where you like get those small wins.
Yeah, the small wins. Yeah.
I think maybe because I vaguely remember last year. I remember like I don't really do New Year's resolution, but I can understand like the utility it serves during the month of January, even if you don't follow through. Like let's use gym for example. We're like, oh, I'm gonna work out every single day. We're fucking you new me, right? Even if like you stop in March, at least you're like doing something purposeful during like one of the worst months.
Yeah.
Right. Because like first of all, I noticed a lot of people have not done New Year's resolution this year. Like I haven't seen New Year, New Me or anything that alludes to that. I think because there's a lot of shaming culture because we're shaming. But I think even if like you don't carry out those goals, I think as a function, I would assume that having some kind of purpose, even if you end up like forgetting about it or you don't do it, I think can really help you a lot during this month of January and February. Especially when like it's hardcore.
I agree. It helps give you purpose and like drive and say, oh, okay, like this is something I can work towards.
Yeah.
And then March comes around and like,
fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, let's go.
Because first of all, as soon as January hit, I got sick. Like you guys saw me, right? We're like, okay, so I was recovering from a sickness, and then when I went to the eating festival and like a lot of eating I went home, my head was hurting the whole day, and then I was okay for a couple of days, and then I got sick again. So like I was still coughing today, but it's like my symptoms are pretty much gone. But what I usually do during January is that like I try to go more to the gym more, not because of like trying to get shredded and like look like a Chad, but because of just endorphins it gives because
makes you feel healthier.
yeah, and like I, of course like testosterone has like drive for aggressiveness and sex drive, but I know it also helps with mood. If you have too low, I'm pretty sure if you have like too low testosterone, so and if you're not getting sunlight, obviously that plays a role. So I definitely going to the gym a lot more, even if it's like a 30-minute workout. It doesn't have to be like anything vigorous, but just the idea of moving my body, because I think sitting all day and in the dark and with nobody when everyone's broke is like a recipe for like
disaster.
Like hello darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy for sure.
Yeah.
No, I definitely I resonate with that for sure.
Yeah.
I was on my way to work this week, just because when you unplug your phone from your car, it goes automatically to like 660 news or something.
It's a Bluetooth device. It's connected.
So as I was getting out of my car, it was Monday, and they were actually saying that this past Monday, they call it like Blue Monday because it's like one of the toughest days of the year.
Oh, like this past Monday.
This past Monday.
Damn.
Yeah, they were saying something about it. Maybe we can like Google it and see if that's actually true.
Yeah, we should have more research. Fuck us, I
mean, we can always Google it and then we can cut this part out. Let's Google it.
Blue Monday.
Blue Monday, or we can't, or just
Blue
figure it out
waffles.
together.
What is this?
Blue Monday.
Blue Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, read what some information so we can
on Wikipedia.
Not
the reliable source.
Not
Wikipedia.
Reliable, but this will give us a general idea. Blue Monday is the name given to a day in January, typically the third Monday of the month. Is this the third Monday of the month?
I feel like it is because January.
I don't fucking know.
Close
to be the most depressing day of the year. Some have dismissed it as like a pseudoscience for the most part.
Oh, like it wasn't recognized.
Like Groundhog Day.
Yeah. But it's like I would guess apparently it's like there's a whole calculation on it. But like it's apparently the company that it's stated by claims that like because of the equation that they came up with, they claim that the third Monday in January of every year is where happiness levels are at an all-time low.
I feel like there are a lot of people that make they construct a model that isn't actually like scientifically like valid.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we'll have to do more research in it, but even if it didn't exist, I think just the idea, I think a lot of people, it's easy to believe because people know that during January in general.
Yeah, January
just
in general.
really sad.
I don't know if it's like specifically like the third Monday.
Yeah.
Like you need to, because like we have, first of all, we have a leap year. Like time itself is like we our 365 days is our measurement, and also weather is not always the same every single year, and like so like, but I think just the concept of like it's dark, it's cold, it's sad. I think I think it has
like it's
that's probably true, but the third
like
Monday,
specifically this date in January.
like that sounds like a zodiac sign.
It's very like horoscopy. What is that word, Jason, that you say all the time? It's like you call horoscopes like biased or something. Confirmation bias. It's kind of like confirmation bias because it's like everyone understands, like generally as a popular opinion, that Mondays are the worst days of the week. Yeah. And then it's January. Like the third. It's like it's not the last Monday of the year of the month. So it's like it's like not like January's almost over. It's the third Monday of the month where you're like fuck, but January isn't even over.
You never know because maybe they like I don't even know how you would measure this. They would have to like ask people to get a sample size and like what's your mood today, and then like look like
on a scale of like
1 to 7.
1 to 7 is like this is sad. And
I mean,
this is happy.
Maybe like I don't know, like off stream or like off record, I'll look more into it and see if there's actually some thing about it. But
start flashing
like but like the one like I know I'm always like kind of inflammatory towards like people who believe in astrology because obviously I quote the Barnum effect and self-fulfilling prophecies and Aristotle's theory of categorization, blah blah blah. But I think things like that, like I know a lot of people find it fun and it's a fun game, and like even if it isn't having like truth to it. Like, I think a lot of people like to give themselves a special kind of like, oh, I'm a this, right? And this means this, right? Find some kind of meaning into it.
Taurus.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's fun, but yeah, I know a lot of people definitely would look at something like that and look for information that kind of confirms it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll have to look more into this Blues Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think just like recognizing that,
We're sad.
we're sad.
Yeah, yeah.
And then do something. Like the next thing they said was like, oh, today is like recognized as Blue Monday, the like least happy day of the year. Make sure you guys like
Eat ass.
Eat ass and go
take
fast.
your vitamin D and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily, like as you said, like specifically this Monday is like, but yeah, I would assume that, if it is based on sunlight, I would assume like winter solstice would be.
Yeah, the winter solstice, where it's like you have the longest
that's like the
period
short.
of
That's the short.
darkness.
Longest period of darkness.
Maybe that's
but,
what it is. Maybe that's where their claim comes from.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, I think one thing you kind of mentioned is that like Monday is the start of the week. So they just noticed that during the third week of the work week, that's when people feel more shitty.
Yeah. It could be every month the third
Yeah.
Monday. It could be like
You're
this.
just like, fuck.
They had the first Monday,
not
and
on
they're like-
Monday again.
And the second Monday, they're like, okay. And the third Monday, that's when they're like, fuck
like,
this job.
fuck.
I hate,
And they just correlate.
So
to
everyone just quits on the third Monday. Of the
third
January.
Monday in January. Sad.
It's weird
Blue
because like
Monday.
it's counter to like when we're always burnt out during January, but I feel like January is when we need people the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should like, because I think during Christmas I haven't really been doing a lot of planning. I think maybe I should like plan like board game nights with like all the homies,
Yeah.
during January season, even soon.
January.
Because I don't know. I think it's something simple. It's not something that's not tactical. Because I know like it's very hard for people to come out, but I definitely think having some sense of like, hey, let's, or even a Discord call, I find.
Yeah.
maybe
Hey, let's just
we can
let's
coordinate.
just,
Yeah.
Let's just talk.
Yeah, easy for people to commit to, and also like, hey, let's I don't know, moan on the mic, like anybody got a mic,
Mike.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, during January, shit. So yeah, I'm trying to think of other solutions you could probably do during January. I can't really think off the top of my head, but yeah. Next question. Let's see. Oh, I guess this was ready. You already answered the questions. Like, do you have any personal combative strategies? Because we kind of talked about that, specifically in the context of January. So kind of just okay. This one. Oh, okay. So this question I kind of had last minute because I was having a conversation with a few of my coworkers, right? And one of them was making fun of like dudes nowadays. He was like, they only have 3 hobbies. They're either really into cars, really into anime, or really into sports.
Yeah.
And I was laughing like super hard, and like he was being like, yeah, I met this one guy who was like watching the 49ers since the 80s, and he knows every single fact about it, right? And the girl made a kind of a joke. Was like, I'm pretty sure like this obsession or like this like quote unquote passion is probably like a way to kind of escape some sense of like nihilism. Like if you're too busy, you can't really remember that you're depressed, right?
Yeah.
But this kind of like poses my next question about like, do you think focusing on depression can help? Because like in the DSM-5, depression is like you kind of look at it's a diagnosis. You look at someone's characteristics, their behavior, and then a professional will give you a diagnosis. Depressed. Not everyone can get a diagnosis because money and issue stuff. But like you could give the diagnosis to someone who has depression, and they could be like, that makes sense why I can't do X, Y, and Z, and then they might be motivated to do certain things to combat said depression, right?
Yeah.
But for another person, you can say, like when they get depression, they can give themselves that property of depression, and like, I can't do anything because I'm depressed. Right?
Yeah,
like use it as a crutch, right?
Use it as a crutch, yeah.
So my question is like, when we talk about S.A.D, do you think it's more better per se to, let's say, have some sense of purpose work where you're more occupied, where you can't focus on depression, or do you think it offers more utility to actually sit there and to like actually reflect on said depression? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I think it's a really good question.
Yeah.
And like you can argue both ways, but generally, if it is like a serious case of depression where you're actually, let's say, hypothetically, you would go to like a You would go to a therapist, and then they diagnose you. Then I kind of agree with you where you're like, oh, that's why I'm feeling like this. That's why.
Well, like even if you didn't get a diagnosis, like I'm saying, like you feel sad, and so like a lot of people they self-diagnose a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's helpful when you're sad? Let's just say not even like depressive, but when you're sad, it's helpful to focus on that you're sad, to reflect on that, or do you think it's better just to quote unquote forget about it and also almost like distract yourself in order to
I think it's different for everyone, right? Because if some people, if they focus on it and reflect, that could give them kind of some clarity on what changes they need to make in their life. Or if they focus on it, they could go in like deep into a rabbit hole and dig themselves into an even bigger hole. And then the other side of it is like if you use distractions, you can like be functional and be happy, but is that temporary, per se? Like
you're not addressing any problems too when
you're not addressing any problems. Well, like that could work for if your sadness or depression is just localized to winter. Some people may be able to keep that up for 4 months and then they're fine the rest of the year. But is that S.A.D, but is that like super healthy? I'm not sure. Like personally, I would kind of do a mix of both, and reflect on it, but not to get into my head. And it's important to recognize that too, and like seek help. Not from a therapist, from like just talking to your homies.
Because the reason, and like we're not necessarily giving professional advice. I just want to put that cleared out. But we definitely want to talk about, especially for those who can't afford therapy, what things that we've done personally to combat like when we're feeling shitty, right? Because again, at the core, like our podcast is like mental health and wellness, right? And we can't really give you like an answer to anything, but this is more just a personal experience of like what we're doing, right? But I can imagine that like someone can fall into a rabbit hole, because that's what I was thinking. Because like a lot of when I meet people who, let's say, have very like, you could tell that they're very triggered and very like their moods go everywhere. They're not emotionally regulated very well. I noticed that there's some people who kind of just like, oh, I can't wait to get to my job because then like it gives me like a
purpose.
Almost like a routine. Like I need a routine, otherwise like I can't function right. A lot of people say that. And I see other people who are like, like I need time off. Like I'm just tired of this shit. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of doing stuff for everything, right? So like, of course, it's not a one size fits all. But like for me, like I actually noticed that when it comes to negative emotions, I do work myself away to avoid that. But for someone else, like I can imagine like self reflection is actually more of would work better for them.
Yeah, I would agree with both of you. I was about to say that I think it really depends on the person.
Yeah,
like I think it's very subjective. Like and I think obviously we're talking about like personal experiences. From my personal experience, I'm definitely in more of Jason's camp, where and I think you said you were a mix of both, but I'm definitely more in Jason's camp now, where I like purposely fully work and make myself busy so that like by the time that I kind of like acknowledge it, I'm in like I'm in a much better place, and those feelings aren't as intense. You know what I mean? So because it's like I think when I feel S.A.D, like the feelings are really really intense. So I'm like, okay, I need to throw myself at something so that like I'm not being unproductive and getting into my own head.
Yeah.
And then like once I'm kind of out of that, because S.A.D doesn't really go away in like January. Right? It carries into February and a little bit into March, right? So like by the time February rolls around and Valentine's Day and like you have a good Valentine's Day, and then that Valentine's Day like hype kind of dies down, you kind of like adjust yourself. It's like, okay, like I still feel it. I still am feeling S.A.D because it's still dark outside. I'm not getting enough vitamin D, but like the feelings are less intense now. So like I can address it a little bit more. What do I need to do? What do I need to do this? And it's like, grind a little bit during January is what I often do. And then address my feelings in February and then see how I feel. If I still feel like, these feelings are way, way too intense, okay, then maybe I do need help. Maybe I need to, reconnect with some homies and spend more quality time with like specific people so that I feel like I'm at a place where I'm not necessarily being unproductive and being like, super sad all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm also thinking, because like last episode I talked about trying to open up more to people, because like the purpose work thing for me, I think I do it out of habit, but I don't think it actually works, if that makes sense. I'm just talking about for myself personally, right? I think like I'm just kind of having more of an epiphany right now where like I think I'm probably gonna try to maybe not just be alone, but to be with other people to reflect about like how we're feeling. Like maybe I probably feel like I should be reaching out to other people, but yeah, because I think the idea of purpose work, like we so I just find that people will behave in a certain way to avoid negative feelings at all costs.
Yeah.
And to a point where it's like they kind of don't address like underlying issues, and I'm like realizing I could work my ass off to not think about things going on in my life, but I think it's more like it's gonna end up in a snowball effect where the point where like I can't really, it's gonna be like really hard to unpack everything, right? So like I don't know. I think purpose work is good. I don't know like how I think we need to ask more people about this, about like if purpose work is actually a good solution for like the January season. But yeah, I think maybe I probably would be try to reach out to more people, just have a conversation, try to, or maybe just like have a plan where we're like having some sort of good time,
some type of game plan.
Some kind of game plan.
That isn't just purposeful work. Right?
Yeah, because I know a lot of people loathe their job when they come back from the holiday season, right?
They're like, "Oh, it's time to grind."
And imagine like you escape depression to something that you hate. You're going to do something you hate. So it's like it's not necessarily. I would say like I don't think a lot of people want to do that, right? But I think to be realistic and like not to sound like a little bit nihilist for this, but like like imagine you feeling sad and you go to somewhere you hate to escape sadness, so now you're just angry to avoid sadness, right? So you're
fuck this place,
escaping one negative emotion to adopt another negative emotion, right? But like when will the suffering kind of end thing, right? So,
I think
I get you.
I think that's what happens to me too, and why I kind of say it's like a mix of both is, I go to like do productive work, I go to my job, and then I come back home, and then it's like I'm feeling tired or feeling down. Okay, let's do something. Let's fucking deep clean my room. Go to the gym. Let's go. Like
a lot of businesses have seasonal deep cleaning stuff for storage items on sale for that reason. This is like the season cleaning time.
Yeah.
Spring cleaning.
Sorry, go ahead.
Winter cleaning.
Winter cleaning.
Depression cleaning.
Yeah. And then like I don't know, go edit a video or something, and then
record a podcast.
Then go back to work, and the cycle continues. And then I kind of feel like you overwork yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck, I'm so tired. And then you go
and then you go take naps.
It goes the other extreme, right? And then you're like unproductive, you're like unsociable, you're kind of angry, your mood goes down. So for myself, I think what I need to work on is kind of regulating those. So it doesn't go to the extreme. Like, work. Yeah, don't work hard and stuff. Be productive and stuff, but don't overwork yourself. Yeah. And then when you do get some downtime, try not to get too deep in my head and go into that negative headspace.
Yeah.
What I did this year, so I actually worked all throughout the holiday season except for, of course, Christmas Day and Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I didn't book up any days during December, but like I worked Saturday. I didn't have to fight. So I had 9 days off when I last saw you guys. So I was like 9 days off. Then I worked 3 days, and I'm now off right now. And then I have another 5 days off. So I didn't book up days during December, but I did book up days during January. But that's where I started to. I mean, unfortunately, I got sick, but then I started to make. This is the first time I made New Year's resolution where like, because I hate working in January. Like it's the worst place. I know the past 2 years when I got back to the job, I hated it. So I delayed my vacation so that like I can make routines outside of work.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I found it very helpful. I think that's why maybe I haven't felt like a slump that most people were trying to describe.
Yeah.
Because like I was like, oh, I don't even have to go to work. Like I literally go Saturday and then I have another 5 days off and then work 3 days and 3 days off. Like, so like
you're chilling.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if like if people at home can do this, but like maybe perhaps booking days instead of December, booking on January.
That's actually smart.
When you're burnt out,
That's
it's
smart.
It's like that for us in retail. Like our blackout
Especially
days.
Boxing
Yeah, our blackout day is pretty much all of December.
Yeah.
And then in January, it completely opens up.
Yeah.
So it's like all of us take vacations in January and February. And my boss was saying, I was asking my boss, I was like, why are you so like? I was like, why are you looking forward to the January so much? Like that's when our business does the worst. And he's like, to be honest, Ron, like it's because I can take vacation. He's like, Christmas is the worst for me because not only am I stressed the fuck out at work, I go home, I'm stressed out at home because I gotta buy so much shit. And he's like, I'm constantly around like the consumer, like I'm constantly around the consumer, and I can't run away from it.
Yeah.
So he's like, as soon as January hits, I'm taking like he takes like a 2.5 week trip to Mexico, and I don't see him for like 2.5 weeks.
That's actually so smart.
And he does it because he's like, I don't want to work in February. I don't want to work in January when we're putting up $300 days.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see people return all the shit that they bought during Christmas. Like I'm losing. He's like, why would I want to watch my business bleed money from all these returns?
Yeah, like that must add to like the negative feelings too caused by January. Just
I also think it's sad because a lot of people book days off during January, and those days that they book off is just stress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, imagine like you book up vacation days. They're called vacation days for you to actually have like a day of rest.
Yeah.
And it just, if you're not working, you're not even getting paid for this. You're working to like plan stuff and to do stuff. So you don't really get a vacation. You just get burnt out, and then January comes, and you don't have vacation days because
because you use them all in December.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You know how we usually like get one stat holiday per month.
Yeah.
I feel like we need another stat holiday in January because New Year's is not a stat holiday for me.
Dude, yeah, and like in the middle of it,
it is a stat, but it doesn't feel like a stat. We need one more like in the middle.
We need a real one. We need like.
What's it called? Blues Monday.
Blue Monday.
Blue Monday stat holiday.
Petition to have Blue Monday as a stat holiday, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it'd be really beneficial for people because
your feelings may be down, but your money is up.
Double pay.
It sucks because I can imagine a lot of people also spend a lot of money during Christmas, so they probably want to work more in January to make up for that.
Yeah.
But this season, I didn't actually spend a lot. I bought gifts for. I did a few Secret Santas, but like I kind of one of the gifts I got from one Secret Santa, I repurposed it for another gift for another Secret Santa.
I did that last year too.
Yeah, dude, that December I was like, nah, I'm not spending like so much. I did buy a lot of gifts. Like I bought gifts for, of course, my girlfriend, some for my family.
Yeah.
So, but I think I'm gonna save up money so that like during January is when I can take my vacation because
bro,
this is the first time I'm doing it, and like I gotta try it again and see if like it's actually helpful, but. I don't know. For me, I'm like, I'm kind of chilling, not working during January. Like that's where I know I'm not motivated, so I'm gonna just not work.
Bro, vacations in January are lit, bro.
Yeah,
I take time off in January just to cause I can.
Yeah,
it's lit, dude. Like going to work 2 days a week and then having like 6 days off. Lit.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it next year. See if that makes a difference. Yeah.
You know what white people got right. I know we sometimes.
That word is right. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, cut it out.
We sometimes roast white people on here, but a lot of them take vacations during the winter. Like I think there's a term, snowbirds.
Yeah.
Where it's like I think I don't know if it's just generally like white people. I don't know if I'm generalizing or if it's like older people. Bro. Maybe, but they go to somewhere warmer during the winter.
Yeah.
And then they come back like I don't know, fucking Mexico or.
Bro, I think because at my work, a lot of the people who have money happen to be older white dudes. Like that's something I kind of notice. So like oh yeah, I inherited my mother's ranch or my grandmother's ranch or like they like I was like how the fuck do you get so much money anyway? So I think like they probably use that money to do vacation.
Yeah. Because one of my coworkers, he's a middle-aged white man, but he went to Puerto Vallarta, and all I see on his stories at these Mexican bars, bro, is
he's happy
white people, bro, or like old middle-aged white, and they're vibing, yo. They're vibing.
They're onto something. They're onto something. Like, cause I get it. It's
don't take your vacations during December.
Yeah, bro. Because it's like all my rich white homies. Like when they were like younger, they would tell me like, we would go to Mexico for like 3 weeks during December. Or like they go on vacation for like the last 3 weeks of December, like they'd come back for Christmas, obviously. So they'd stay in like Calgary for 4 days. So they do the 23rd, the 24th, 25th, and 26th, and then they fly out the 27th, and then they don't come back to like mid-January.
Yeah, I have noticed a lot of my Caucasian friends have like, I don't know what, like, yeah, their family just has a lot of money and they really utilize it. Like I can be hated. I'm like, hey man, you got the money, do your thing.
Yeah.
I respect it.
You come in the bag, now use it.
Yeah. But fuck, do I wish I had rich parents,
bro? For real.
I still love my parents though. I'm not trying to be ungrateful.
Shout out my parents, but I wish we were richer.
Yeah, I already got richer. Was that money? Is my happiness? Like, no, fuck it. Yeah, it does. Like, I don't know what you're talking.
I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than be happy in a fucking
why my tears would tell
bike.
Yeah, no.
Then be happy on the bus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think probably taking vacation during January. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna see if that works and see if
it's lit, bro.
And then next year I'll report back to you guys, see if it
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a question, but New Year's resolutions.
Oh yeah, we were gonna ask that. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Last year we did New Year's resolutions. I remember you used to be totally against New Year's resolutions, but I think I'm gonna try to do New Year's resolutions. For me, it's gonna be similar to last year. I'm not gonna do one book a month. I did not complete that, but I did read a lot more.
That's tough.
Because the books I'm reading are like fat, and they're like I'm reading a lot more like philosophy books, right? And so I'm doing a lot more like introductory
Academic books.
more academic books, right? So they require you a lot of thinking, and I'm like, I don't think a month is a good amount of time to appreciate a book of like of caliber. Like I was reading a book of like the difference between like egalitarianism and utilitarianism, and like kind of the philosophy between like it's talking about morals and shit, right? And so I was kind of interested in it.
I'm learning about that right now.
But it's when I was reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, bro, like this is a lot. I get what they're saying, but this is a lot. And so like I don't think I can do that in 1 month, but maybe I might do like, even if it's 4 books this year, I think that's an attainable one.
Yeah.
I also am trying to get better at trying to articulate how I feel about things. Like I was telling Karen how like, hey, and also you guys in the last episode, like I'm trying to get more open about communicating what's inside here and what's inside here. And trying to, and so I'm hoping, just to get more articulate about how I feel about things, not how I think about them, how I feel about things.
That's a good way.
And to read a lot more. Yeah, that's like the only goals I kind of have. I don't want to overwhelm myself with a lot of goals. I just kind of want to have like easy ones that are like, yeah, I feel like I attained this. Yeah, but that's for me.
Oh, we'll go down the line. I'll go next. I think so. My goal last year was to get shredded. And honestly, I don't think I got as vascular and as like shredded as I wanted, as I was like honestly thinking at the time.
But your stocks went up though. Like,
but like, yeah, like I definitely got a lot more fit, and like I got a lot more like, you know, I got a lot healthier, and I love the gym now. Like it's honestly, and like loving the gym has allowed me to like do a lot more things. Like, you know, now I'm like really getting back into sports. Like I haven't done a sport since like, you know, since dancing. But like I'm really loving volleyball. Like I'm really like throwing myself into it.
Shout out Brock Lesnar.
Shout out Brock Lesnar. But like, yeah, I just like honestly, it's I haven't loved like playing a sport as much as I have like since now. I think my goal going forward this year is to like try to I think it's just like try to be mindful more of like the people around me too.
Pretty good one.
Like I think like the one thing I really struggled with this year was to kind of be mindful of my surroundings, especially like my like social relationships. And you know, I think I do need to pay more attention if I am neglecting them, or if I'm not putting in enough effort, or if I'm putting in too much effort in a specific one and it's not necessarily benefiting me as much. Right?
Relationship building.
Yeah. So like definitely relationship building is like on the top of my list. And I think like number 2 for me is like telling myself that it's okay to take a break. I think that like as of recently, I've been really struggling to be like, I've really been struggling to take a break and like not feeling guilty about it. Cause I'm like lately I've just been like, oh, go. Like, you know, I gotta grind for my future. I gotta grind for my life. Like I love my life, but I gotta grind for it. You know what I mean? And like every once in a while I gotta be like, okay, like, yo, you can chill. Like, and it's okay. Don't feel guilty like to chill. You know what I mean? Like, you know, play that video game for like 8 hours. It's cool, bro. Like you got it.
Oh yeah, I was actually before Vince goes, having a conversation with Karen. She I forgot what she kind of called it. She's like, I need a waste day. Or like
waste day.
A day where she can. There was a word. It was a very flowery word where she insulted herself. Like, I need a day where I can sit down and rot. Oh yeah, rotting.
Yeah,
day.
sit down and rot.
Yeah, she's like, I need a day where I can sit down and rot. And I feel like I don't get a lot of days of rot. I find that because we live in such a society that like encourages work, like like you gotta work to.
You gotta work to.
Like
get
we
where
talked
you
about
want.
like hustle culture and like probably one of the earlier episodes of UJ,
earliest
right?
episodes, yeah.
And I think because that's like a very standard of like what you should do. Like, you need to work so that you can enjoy, but there's never a clarification of when you can enjoy, right? You just they just talk about work and like taking life into your hands, grabbing life by the throat or by the testicles, and like really working. That the point that it's so easy to get caught up that. So yeah, I definitely think, and for those of you like listening, like perhaps taking the time to be like, okay, I worked hard. When do I get to rest? Because that's the whole point. If like, do you work to live or live to work? Kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So having time to
rot. Like
Yeah,
definitely, I want more days to like rot.
unapologetically rot. Not
Yeah.
not necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna
Like
be
excessively
lazy.
do it.
Yeah, but having like in moderation of like allowing yourself to rot.
Because like I think when I was not in school and I was kind of like part-time employed, I definitely had a lot of days of rot, and like I think I had too many, that's why like I kind of demonize them now, because I'm like, oh fuck, like I don't want to feel like that again.
There's a lot of shame attached to it. I think the word lazy doesn't have a lot of positive connotation to it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe trying to give a positive light to it, like, hey, laziness is good. Do you like feeling full rested? Like, hey, that's compass that is entailed in laziness, or you could entail it to laziness. But I think a lot of people, because those words have such like poor connotation, like tired is like it's like laziness. But like work is like it's like a strong word. So I feel like a lot of people kind of like, yeah, man, gotta
work.
Yeah, I gotta work, right? And they don't, and then to the point where they even cause suffering to themselves to kind of give themselves a sense of like, yeah, I'm that shit.
I'm adding value.
Yeah, a high value man. That's per se.
value man.
And I think, but the price of increasing your value according to whose standards, whatever, costs their sanity, right? And so the question is like, do you want to be quote unquote high value to yourself, or do you want to feel good for once in a while? The value doesn't always correlate to happiness, kind of thing.
I really like, because I was having the same conversation with Abby, and I was like, man, I don't have any days to like just be a bum.
Yeah, bro.
I want to be a bum.
Yeah.
But like I feel that I want to be a bum, but like
You feel
I
guilty.
don't let myself
you don't
do
let
it.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like, for example, last week I tried really hard.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I got a lot of time before volleyball. What can I do? So I opened up like I played Hogwarts Legacy for like 3-4 hours, and then I played like Lethal Company for like 2 hours, and then like I was like, okay, but then I was like, I was still feeling like I feel like I'm wasting my time, right? So I feel like I just need to keep doing it, like have a specific day.
I noticed that like even in high school, you guys knew each other for a lot longer than I knew both of you guys, right? Yeah. You were very organized and like you had a sense of work, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that a lot of people admire and people are jealous of. But perhaps maybe this is just like wiring from young kids that like from you being young of like, hey, like now how do I turn it off?
I really need to work on like turning it off, because like it's not healthy just to be like go all the time. Like feel tired, but you don't acknowledge that you're tired. And that's kind of one of my New Year's resolutions, I guess, for this year is kind of like, just I'm getting close to the
30 number.
3-0.
Oh yeah.
I need to focus on, I guess, my health. Like I started, I guess big thing is like eating healthier and like starting to take vitamins and stuff, like vitamin D, C, supplements.
This morning I remember taking my vitamins because like I was, I feel like so shit. Like especially with, like during this work week where I was like the post lunch slump. Yeah, I think I have a bunch of vitamins. I'm just like, why am I not taking these? And so I put it by my nightstand so that I would see it as soon as I wake up. That's been helping me a lot. Yeah.
Actually, what's it called? It's so funny that you guys had that conversation with your singing workouts. I actually had that conversation with Beacon the other day too.
Yeah.
because
Had it this
it's
morning.
actually me addressing her and like her like kind of like, you know, taking it easy because she didn't work for like pretty much like a whole week after New Year's, and I was like, hey, like babe, like you haven't worked for a while, like what's going on, like, and she's like, oh, honestly, like I've just been working so much, like I just want to take a week or I can just like rot.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh, week to rot would be
respect.
so
Like I was like, you know what, like respect, like I was like, and I was kind of in like that work mode. I was like, oh, like you know, you should work, you know, like this and that. And but then I'm like, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, yeah, like to be honest, like she
right.
works really hard.
She's right.
Like
Yeah.
she does need that
Deserves
week to
it.
like rot. You know what I mean? Like, I would come home and ask her like, what'd you do today? And she's like, oh, like I kind of watched a movie on the projector. Then I like went into the room and looked at dressers on IKEA, and I was like, okay, like that's honestly like
Went to
oh,
IKEA
that's
this
dope.
IKEA is a nice place to go to. I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys saw that meme where it's like, it was like, I'm gonna eat healthy, and then it's just like, and he's on the toilet, like
Yeah.
like that's. I think I'm not saying that I'm trying to encourage people to eat junk food, but I definitely think the idea of just like, you know, fuck all for a day.
Yeah, for a
I
day,
think can-
like just being like, you know, I'm a body of Little Caesars pizza.
yeah, or a salad
Yeah,
and 20 chicken
or-
nuggets.
20 piece of chicken nuggets.
or a DQ meal.
And
Yeah.
a large chocolate milkshake and double Big Mac.
And then go to Hayden Block out there.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vince. Okay, back to the New Year's resolution thing.
Oh yeah, so
But you-
that's one, and then like just listening to my body and being healthier, and then the second one is a continuation of my New Year's resolution from last year, which I didn't fulfill, but I will this year. Is or hopefully I will this year, is to get a house. I'm really close to my down payment goal, and then like just hopefully I'll get it this year, and then we can have a space too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have a space. This is our space.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure like we can't yell because of the people downstairs upstairs. Yeah.
Joe, we can
can't
yell,
crump-
bro.
we can't-
Dude, I've been yelling in this apartment, bro.
No complaints.
No complaints.
Wow. Maybe we should start crumping and see. We'll push the limits. You know?
start jumping and stuff. Also for our UGH viewers, I feel like we forgot to address this in the beginning of the podcast, but the reason why we're in a new space is because your boy just recently moved out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're no longer.
I mean,
in
you
the-
kind of alluded to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah.
So we're no longer in the stinky poo poo basement. Just kidding. I love that basement, but I am now living with my significant other in an apartment, and we can be as loud as we want. Because to be honest, like Beacon and like our roommate, they also just like scream all the time when they watch movies pretty late at night.
up inside.
Yeah.
Wake me up.
Like Beacon and I sometimes play volleyball at like 11 p.m. at night.
Damn.
So
That's
it's like,
crazy.
yeah. And the neighbors are pretty like chill about it. So, you know, but also granted, the neighbors are pretty loud upstairs and downstairs too. So
Yeah, I guess
They set the standard.
people always the people that complain about like my upstairs neighbor is loud. Like we are those motherfuckers that just
yeah.
it just starts-
boom, 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 boom.
I guess one more small New Year's resolution is, and I think you share the same thing. I want to get better at volleyball, bro.
Bro, oh my god, I want to get better at volleyball so bad, bro. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking destroy all these fucking kids.
Yo. Go subscribe to Jaden Fernandez. You'll see all our games.
Oh, you're gonna see all the games, bro.
Oh shit! I just doxed the guy.
Chill, but Jaden's been on the podcast before.
Oh yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, he has.
Yeah.
He also commented a few times. So like,
Shout out, Jaden.
shout out to Jaden. Yeah.
Shout out Jaden. We love Rufus.
I mean, you could probably put his tag. On,
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
his YouTube channel name.
Fernandez. Just talks the fuck out of Jaden.
No, I mean, yo, people know of him because if they watch podcasts, he's in the public eye. So
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's it for today. I hope, I don't know, listening to us talk about our struggles with like winter blues and
S.A.D.
low moods during the season, maybe give you some inspiration per se. But yeah, if you can and you have the resources, always seek help. Of course, we're not really professionals when it comes to giving
We
medical
are not professionals.
medical advice or whatever. But we encourage you just to reach out to somebody, reach to a therapist or to a counselor. I know counselors a little bit cheaper, and yeah, just to take care of yourself. Happy holidays. Anything else you guys want to say?
Yep, take your vitamin D. Get some. Oh, we forgot to talk about the light therapy thing.
Oh, did I mention? Okay, cool. I mean, you can shoehorn this in. I don't know. So they were talking about a few treatments for S.A.D. S.A.D. isn't as I mean, obviously, like I don't recommend self-diagnosing yourself, but even if you don't have SAD, some things to help with mood. One of the things they recommend is, of course, antidepressant medication, but they usually recommend other options be considered first before doing it because usually they have adverse effects. Yeah. And of course, you need to be diagnosed and get that from an actual doctor. From a doctor, the brain doctor, psychotherapist or psychiatrist or pharmacist or whatever. Make sure they're prescribed.
Consultant.
Vitamin D, and of course, counseling. Of course, having someone to talk to about things can definitely relieve a lot of stress. And the last thing they mentioned was light therapy. There was a few things mentioned about how vitamin D, like you need light. Mm-hmm. If you don't have light, there's this thing. I'm gonna try myself. We're not advertised or sponsored or anything, but it's like a little. It's called light therapy box where you kind of put a light, and it's supposed to give you light to. I don't know if it's vitamin D specifically, but it's supposed to help you uplift your mood. Mm-hmm. I think it's supposed to facilitate serotonin release. I'm not sure of the science. Recommend doing your own research, but that was one thing they kind of recommend. Is that it's like a little thing you just put there and it just shines light, and they recommend doing it every morning. Yeah. And so I'm gonna try to do that with the vitamins and see if that helps.
I also heard that on 660 News. So.
Ooh, 660 News.
Yeah, in the same broadcast where they were talking about Blue Mondays.
Blue Monday.
Okay, we'll definitely research Blue Monday to see if we can get some. Yeah, maybe it is the thing. I don't know. Maybe we're just haters,
Fuck Blue Monday. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, fuck Blue Monday. It should be a stat holiday.
But yeah. Lastly, like they said, use if you guys are in school, use your school resources, use your counselors, and if you are in university, use your university benefits to see therapists. Benefits, yeah. Even if like the littlest bit will help. Yeah, anything. Try light therapy if it doesn't work. And again, we're not giving medical advice, but we are advocates of you trying anything to help you feel better during this really sad season.
Yeah, that or we shit on you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'm kidding, but yeah. Take care, everybody. We will see you on the next episode.
See you in the next one.
Episode, guys. Peace.